60 seconds. All right. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone here doing today? This is Christopher Chin, and we are here for another Beyond the Hustle and Perseverance podcast. Today's episode is titled Beyond the Title and Networking Internationally. And who better host to have today than someone who is very, very connected internationally? I am here with my special guest today, who is multilingual. She speaks English, Portuguese. Do you speak Spanish as well?
A little bit, yes, I do.
Spanish, un poco. She, she covers multiple states and cities all over the United States, and you probably have seen her in some of your most favorite broker open houses because I can't find many I can't find many title agents who know how to throw a better broker open house than my amazing guest here today. That I'm so honored and so honored to welcome the Title Diva, Daumielle Adelman. Bem-vindo, amiga. Welcome. Please tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Hey, obrigada. That's thank you in Portuguese. I'm very happy to be here. Yes, I am a title agent. I always say if you wanna, nobody ever seen the title insurance so glamorous. You know, we try to glamorize, we try to make things different, and obviously, I call myself the title diva, but the divas are my clients. I want them to succeed and grow and shine, and that's why we do what we do.
I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of clients can be very, very diva-like sometimes, and I think we've all dealt with some of the craziest clients on the market before who had the biggest laundry list of requests and needs imaginable.
No, 100%, but I think that they have the right to do so,
Of course.
because in the end of the day, you it's your business and you're treating that as a show. And I come from the show business industry where I was a singer for about 20 years of my life, and this is what we do. We want everybody to be happy and have the experience. And when my clients are divas, let them be. I'll be right there to cater for them and make them shine.
I mean, we gotta sometimes they gotta do what they gotta do. They gotta go through the emotions and things, and that's when they really learn the most. And you
Absolutely.
never know. A lot of times, those divas that we discuss that you're talking about here, they actually become a lot more humble after they go through the trials of the business every day, and then they come back and say, "Oh, snap!" I understand now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that this business really humbles you in terms of I wouldn't say the competition, but it's just like I think that the market itself right now is really slapping a lot of people in their faces because during COVID we had things a little bit easier, and now we're struggling a little bit with the sellers market. When you have the sellers market, there are the challenges of the sellers market. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they're thinking that, oh, okay, I'm gonna sell for top dollar, but then when you see the property, it's a bunch of liens, a bunch of judgments, and it really prevents the sellers to sell. And the realtors, they get very, very frustrated, which is a normal situation.
I love how we started off this with a set of questions, and now we're already drifting into this section of the business and
Yeah,
everything. It's
it's,
just no, no.
it's
I'm saying this is a great thing. This is a great thing because like we're just, this is very insightful information because like I do gotta ask a question for you now. As you remember, 2019,
Hmm.
when COVID first hits, rates dropped substantially. Everybody, there was a lot of people doing refinances. And there were also a lot of people buying homes at extremely low rates. You know, if you remember properties at 2019, you know, that same house that you're paying $400,000 for at that particular time is worth about $500,000 to $600,000 now.
Exactly. I myself like experienced myself because I'm also an investor.
Yes.
We got our property at 2.3%. And I mean, a couple of properties that we got, and then now our property almost double the price.
Yeah.
So it's insane.
I sold a property to a client in 2018, and at that time was Springfield's most expensive house ever sold.
Wow.
Um, it's changed since because the owner of the Minnesota Vikings, who lived in Springfield at that time, sold his house afterwards. So I am no longer the record holder.
Oh,
Unfortunately, that unfortunately Wilf has it for being a billionaire, but that's okay. But besides that, my client got an excellent deal because when they came in there, they put the offer in, they bought the property, they ended up getting it at in 2018 rates were still 5 to 6%.
yeah.
Shout out to Kathy Odad. And then literally the year after, he lucked out because the whole COVID mess happened and rates dropped. He refinanced, ended up refinancing for like 2%.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah, the refinance boon was really,
thank you, Dave.
also was what put me into the map, because obviously in the beginning we create wonderful relationships with lenders and people that really supported me and my business, and afterwards obviously we could showcase what the Title Diva does. So those relationships empower these lenders, because we start doing open houses, we start doing a bunch of things. So yes, the refinance really helped us to be the name Title Diva on the map because of the refinances as well.
How did you adjust your business around that time also when you first dealt with the
Well,
COVID
I
issues?
just kind of started during COVID. That's when I started. This is my husband.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, he just came from the gym. Yeah, so during COVID, we that's when we started, and I had a couple ideas during COVID. Everybody was in the house, and then I was like, "What am I gonna do?" So, like you said, thinking internationally, what I did, some way, somehow, I found a way. I think I had someone coming from Brazil. I told them load a case with a luggage with gloves, masks, sanitizers, everything you can get from Brazil. So this is what I did. When no one had it, I had it, and I gave to all the clients and potential clients that I wanted to, pursue. And that was kind of a boom for me, because I started being like different. Nobody had it. How did this girl, got that? So I made the Title Diva sanitized kit, and I sent to all the clients that I wanted to work with and I already work with, because just like we were talking before, client appreciation is everything. I'm all for to get new business, but to me, the business that I currently have is the most important. Like, because without the people that are supporting you right now, how are you going to get more business? You know what I mean? Like, you really have to nourish the ones that are working with you first.
It's like a sport. It's like sports in a sense. You know, like you know how a lot of sports, you know how a lot of athletes will go out and say that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for the fans, if it wasn't for this, and it's the same thing with our supporters in a way. It's people that we maintain in our lives, or that we maintain in our relationships that help us continue to grow our
Yeah.
business.
If
And
I'm
that,
not mistaken, actually, there Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a very interesting story. So Cristiano Ronaldo, I think he played for the Manchester for
yeah,
a very, very long time, and um, he plays against Manchester now. But then he says that he can't cheer when he scores a goal, because it was the I've got goosebumps talking about it. It was the team that built him up. So
yeah.
it was the team that made him be who he is. And then he said, I'm so grateful. And I feel, I have to do my job. I have to score a goal. but in the end of the day, I feel disrespecting the people that built me up. So I feel the same way. It's the same sense of respect that I have for my clients. I will never disrespect a client that I have in order to get new clients.
I agree with that 100%. And, it's the same in a lot of ways. That same mentality fits in certain deals itself, like dual agency deals specifically. Like, um, it's knowing certain lines that you're not willing, that for sure that you can't cross, in certain aspects and certain details that you need to protect no matter what the relationship is.
Yeah.
And I think you have a very broad understanding of that as well.
Yeah, of course, of course. Listen, don't get me wrong. In this business, there is a lot of pettiness. There are a lot of people. "Oh, if you work with this person, I'm not working with you." And I think that's actually not thinking of abundance, because if you are my client and if you appreciate my touch and the way I am with you, you want abundance for me as well. So you're like, just go get the business. Can you imagine if you are have a buyer? Then I'm like, no, 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 don't work with this buyer because I don't like them. It doesn't make any sense, right? This is your business. This is your livelihood. I want you to succeed. I want you to get as many clients as you can. Obviously, there is a line of respect, but at the same time, we have to think of abundance. We live in abundance. We can't live in scarce and think that you're gonna have progress. Progress comes from thinking bigger, thinking more. So that's how I am.
You'll actually be amazed because um you'll be amazed with how many successful businesses come to existence when it starts with people who actually had grudges with each other,
Yeah,
who had issues with each other,
yeah,
because they say the same thing with like opposites attract, right?
yeah.
So a lot of those times, those opposite directions of the mentality itself actually end up working out to creating an incredible business opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, there's another theory when it comes to neuroscience. There's another thing about me too that I'm gonna respond kind of. I went to school for neuroscience and psychology, and I have a master's in counseling. So in neuroscience, when we say opposite attract, opposite don't necessarily attract; they complement. So, an example, great example. My husband and I, when it comes to personalities, we have extremely different personalities. But the complement part of it, what I have, he doesn't have, or he has, I don't have, makes it such a wonderful synergy. And that's why these relationships with people, just like you're saying, um, they might not be like the greatest in the beginning. You might clash a little bit, but in the end of the day, they work because you're learning and you're growing from it.
That makes 100% sense. I mean, life would actually be pretty boring if everyone had the same
I
share the same
agree, right?
mentality and share the
I,
same thought process.
yeah, yeah. That wouldn't be so fun.
How do we learn if we all think the same? We don't have an opposite way to think, and we don't think differently about certain things and other things. And how do we grow from that? Everyone has great ideas. It's about execution, and it comes with that mentality of being able to execute. And sometimes it comes with a different thought process. If everyone thought the same, we wouldn't have. If everyone thought the same, we wouldn't have someone like Einstein. you know,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have an Elon Musk. We wouldn't have these geniuses who really do what they can to try to really shape the difference and change the world.
Yeah, you have to stir a little bit, and this is also one of the premises of my business, like what differentiates what we do with our clients. Like you're saying, like we go for the extravagant. We love extravagant open houses. We love that closing table experience that no one
Wow.
has. We love showing off our love, our
Same thing with me.
and it's genuine. You have to have it in your heart. If you don't have it in your heart, it's not gonna fly because people notice. And one of the things that I always remember actually is a quote from Maya Angelou.
Mhm.
People, they won't remember what you said, what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what we try to bring to our clients, it's the experience, it's the feeling. You know, even when you see me, every time when people see me, I always have the blues, the teals. You create a feeling. I have a car that is teal. You know, it's that experience, creating those senses, obviously coming from a neuroscience perspective. I'm always creating senses, and I understand that people are going to have feelings. Look at my ring. We're just talking about. So my ring is also, so it's a feeling, it's that experience that people will perceive, and there's a little part of your brain that creates memories, and they are always going to refrain to the memories. So when they see me, they already have a picture, right? Daumielle is in a box of teal colors, and it's amazing, and I want that to have perspective, just like you said. I'm going to go to an open house and I'm already expecting that it's going to be fabulous. And it's going to be fabulous because if, there's my name on it, I have to sign it and I have to deliver.
I I agree with that 100%. Actually, that actually goes down. Imagery. Basically, is the bottom line. Imagery itself is a very very strong factor in this business itself. I learned this from Ryan Serhant and Million Dollar Listing New York when they first. Actually, I'm not Ryan Serhant. I'm sorry. I learned this from HGTV. Actually, I don't know if you remember the Property Brothers, but
Yeah, I do. I do. I love them. I used to watch all of them. Like even before being in real estate, I used to be crazy about the Property Brothers and all of those shows.
so if you remember specifically the Property Brothers, what like the one that was selling all the time, I think it was Jonathan, right?
Yeah.
Do you
Uh-huh.
remember whenever he used to show people the properties and everything, right? He used to take them back to the studio, but and re-show them pictures again, and then he wouldn't name them based off of the address of the property, but he would associate it with something else, right? Say, all right, this is the farmhouse because it's covered, it looks like a farm, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera,
Mhm.
right? Just utilizing little imagery to help people remember the location. This is something I started really implementing with my open houses as well. I started I actually found a personal baker in Berkeley Heights from Delicious Deliver Goods.
Mhm.
And what they'll do is they'll make custom cookies and everything with logos and stuff like that. And then we'll put them in open houses. And I remember one of my first listings in New Providence, which is a very, very expensive town. It's a very suburban town, very, very highly sought after town. I had a family that came there with their daughter. And when they called me afterwards, they kept on associating the property as the cookie house because the daughter loved the cookies there, and now they're just constantly associating with that one item because that made their daughter happy. you
Yeah.
know
And it goes a long way, like when we do the cake with the picture of the house, and then we have that expression. A lot of people are like, well, but it's all the time you have the same thing. Well, just buying, they don't really know. They don't really know that surprise. So when you have that picture of the house and you create that experience, just like you said, it becomes an image. It becomes something that is special to your clients and to you. So I always try to do like the extra mile. We had many situations. We had situations where we had engagements. We had a kind of a sad situation that a baby passed away like a couple of
Wow.
days before the closing. So I made it really special for the clients, and I think that, believe it or not, I do attract this type of clients that need this special touch. It's, once again, the universe is always cycling for you. It's always bringing the energy and the synergy that you need in your life, and I'm very grateful uh, because of my clients and because the opportunities that they give me to participate. Number one of you know one of the most beautiful purchases of their lives, probably the biggest purchase of their lives, and I'm part of it, and it just kind of became my why. And when you find your why, things change. And a lot of people say, oh, you if you love what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life. I think that is the opposite. If you love what you do, you have to work harder to make sure you show the thing you love. Just like I love my husband, I show him every day with a lot of love, and a lot of dedication, how much I love him. You know, I put this love into my house, into my clients, and I force myself to work even harder every day.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And that hard work is the same thing with, your business, our business. You know what I'm saying? It's the
It's a principle.
now what you say is true in the sense that if you enjoy what you do, every day doesn't feel like a job. The difference
Yeah,
is that it doesn't. You know what it is? It's like it just doesn't feel like a job as much in a sense because you enjoy what you do as much. Like it becomes more like you have to drink water every single day. You know what I mean? You have to eat every day. You have to sleep every day. It ends up being a situation where the hustle, the drive, the
it's just like
whatever, it just becomes so natural.
how when you put effort, when you put effort into things, you can see that the even though it's not a job, just like going to the gym, right?
Right.
Go to the gym, the more you work out, the more you dedicate, the more you eat well, you're going to see physically that your body is going to start changing. So it's
Exactly.
the same thing with the relationship that you put to your business, your relationship and everything. Those are principles. Principles, they're interchangeable. I can apply this principle for this thing or that thing. It's going to be, you're going to have good results if you put, if you, like they said, the grass is greener where you water it. So
Hard work and dedication is a universal law to any kind of business, any kind of goal that you're chasing specifically.
1,000%. Yeah.
It's funny actually. What's crazy is that we started off this with a whole bunch of questions. Like I said earlier today, we haven't even scratched the surface of this amazing.
I know, but I think that I answer a bunch of them. Like,
You did, you
yeah,
did,
I
you
did,
did, you definitely
yeah,
did.
and and that's what I like too. Like the flow of a conversation gets you a lot farther than you think.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, everything I do is usually just to set up like a template of how we're gonna move and just to create a flow. But I love the natural flow of things and how things just start like clicking in, and we're just throwing out incredible information without it even being scripted. So
Yeah, but
this is
not reinforced, which is
exactly,
amazing. Yeah,
exactly. But we do have some questions to ask you specifically. So that.
let's go.
I know you just got back. I know you just returned from your trip from Brazil a couple of days ago. Please tell everyone how that experience was.
Well, Brazil, it's always fabulous. Brazil, it's where, I was born in Rio de Janeiro, but I grew up in a town, it's called Vitória. But this time we went to São Paulo in Rio de Janeiro. I love to do, some medical in São Paulo and Rio. I find, the professionals there are absolutely amazing. And obviously, my husband and I, we always take time to enjoy ourselves. We love the glam life, and we like to give the glam life to our clients and do the glam life for everybody. We like to be glam too, and obviously we stay at the best hotels in Brazil, and I love it. And again, those experiences when you put yourself into the situations, you end up also meeting people that some way somehow it helps our business. Like we found investors, like even traveling to Spain, Italy, we met people that were like, I couldn't believe, and we made business out of it, and we're
That's
still
amazing.
getting business out of it.
That's amazing. And you're investing internationally as well too. So you're making those connections internationally, and then you're able to learn more about whatever you're investing in over there, and you're starting to branch out more into international grounds as well. Correct?
Yeah, correct. So, like I said, we have met some people in São Paulo, some people in Rio as well, that they're builders. They're building stuff in Orlando. They're building stuff in generally Miami as well,
Wow.
and some people in New York. So those are states that we are licensed, and some of these people we could leverage the realtors that we work with. So
That's amazing.
out of nowhere, just like I said, supporting the clients that we have, we can send them business. And once again, people they're supporting us and obviously speak Portuguese. They're the ones that they're getting these leads, and then out of nowhere, people like, how did that happen? Like, seriously, we're just sitting at the pool and we meet these people. They're builders. They're building your Orlando. It just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the best experiences are the best people that you meet, or the people that you meet out of nowhere, and it's I think it's a universal thing also too that you kind of speak into your universe. You put the energy into your universe, and naturally those people gravitate towards you.
Yeah.
I've always been a strong believer of energy, and the way you put your energy out there. I've noticed that when my life, points when my life were down, that's when I attracted the most negative people in my life. And when I'm rising, when I'm at my best, that's when I'm attracting the most important, the most positive people in my life, because people are very receptive, and even without words being spoken, it's just you just naturally gravitate toward people that are sharing the same mentality and energy as you.
Oh my goodness, what you're saying, it's crazy. It is crazy because I do a lot of dieting. I do a lot of fasting, right?
Okay.
And I love how it makes my body feel like without inflammation, and it makes. I mean, it's a little off topic, but since you mentioned that, I think it's important for people to know because real estate can be very unhealthy. Um,
Yes.
I'll tell you this: when I do these things, when I'm exercising really well, when I'm doing my yoga, when I'm doing my fasting and eating properly, my body is so energetic and so strong that it really attracts that amazing energy that you're saying. And I can tell you when I'm dieting and I'm doing the right things, how my numbers are. It's insane. It's literally almost 30% more production. And I tell this with people, they're like, no, it's not the market. No, it's not. It's really the focus that brings to you and your mind and things that you attract to yourself. And when I'm feeling down, it's not that my numbers, would ever go down, but it's a different energy. It's completely different.
What's something crazy that I didn't really think about until now is, we're this business is we are surrounded by lot of positive people through social media and what they're posting and everything. But as
Mhm.
at the same time, what people don't realize is that this could, if you look at it in the right way, in the wrong way, this could actually be a very discouraging business in a sense, because you see all these people shining in glamour, doing this, doing that, and then it makes you feel like you're a small pigeon in a big city, in a sense, in a way that you feel irrelevant. But the reality is that it's all about the mentality. It's,
Mhm.
when you get intimidated, if you're looking at that in intimidation, right, then you're naturally going to take a step back. You're not going to want to work as hard. You're not going to want to
Yeah.
put the right energy into it to become the person that you want to become, unfortunately. And this business does teach you that side of it in two different ways and all stuff. It's like, all right, yeah, in one way it's a very negative sense, because that, like, you feel that discouragement because you see all these people so successful and everything. You start questioning, and especially in such a competitive field,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. I
But
couldn't agree more with you because it's again principle, right? Goes the same thing for body positivity, body
exactly.
image. There are these girls looking at this all photoshopped girls. Like if you really see them in person, I don't know if you ever seen a model um like on social media and live.
Hmm.
It's insane, right?
Yes.
Sometimes their realtor that is posting their $4 million sale, it's probably the only sale that they had the whole year. You know what I mean? And they're gonna have to live out of it for a while. So, and investing, and some people are investing so much money too. There are things behind the scenes, behind social media that people don't see. They don't.
Even those YouTube, even a lot of those major, massive, like, YouTube influencers and all stuff, like, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And a lot of times it's crazy because people just automatically say, "Oh, I'm going to look at Tony Robbins. I'm going to look at this person. I'm going to look at this person," and just automatically assume they're successful because they're posting these luxurious videos of beautiful cars and lifestyles and everything. And then how often do you end up running into a story like months later, years later, where some of these people end up getting caught in to doing some of the most heinous things imaginable. There was actually a guy that I used to work for. I'm sorry, that I used to work with in Nest when I was working at Nest Seekers, and he was one of the biggest YouTubers imaginable. He didn't sell real estate, but he was out posting YouTube videos on a regular basis
Right.
on luxury houses. He was selling that lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of months ago, I found an article about him where he actually ended up running over a cop on a DUI.
Yeah. I
Like,
probably see too much of datelines, too much of things like that. Listen, life, it's not perfect. I think that healthy people, they will try to find a way to build systems and to build a lifestyle that is healthy. You have to be, like I said, the real estate can be unhealthy in the sense of looking at social media and seeing images that are not really the real deal and deflate you a little bit. But you always have to keep a positive mindset, because in the end of the day, you have the power to do anything you want. If you really want that lifestyle, if you really want what those people want, you will make it happen if you really, really, really want. But you can't be deflated, because once you are deflated, you can't do anything. It's just like, you gotta breathe, you gotta take your water, you gotta take the steps. Like these people, and a lot of these people are also very, very successful, but you can't count that it just happened for them, because it doesn't. Like some of these people, like you're talking about Tony Robbins. How long do you know this guy for? Over what, 40 years, 30 years? If things don't happen over time, things don't, like, things, they you have to start somewhere, obviously, but you can't be deflated because of someone successful. And again, talking about abundance and scars, you have to live in abundance. You have to believe and be in a position that I'm abundant, I can do this.
well, we become like with the social media world, that the way it's designed and everything, we become so obsessive over other people's success stories that they tell us what it is. They tell us what their success story is. They tell us what they've gone through to become who they become. But that's what they tell us. And then you find out years later that there's extra lines that they didn't tell us. There's extra details that they didn't tell us. Just think about 90% of the celebrities that get caught up right now in this whole Diddy mess and everything. All half of these celebrities were selling us on inspiration, motivation, drive. And then you find out years down the road that 90% of them took a shortcut that required them to sell their souls of some sort, you know what I mean? Or something of that nature itself. And like, obviously in our businesses, it might not be to that extreme, but at the same time,
You'd be
it goes
surprised.
down to the same, it
You
goes
will
down to
be
the mentality of
surprised.
people.
I know some horror stories,
Oh yeah, 100%.
some people that, and it's sad, but in the end of the day, it's working for them. I don't judge anybody.
Neither do I.
I think what it works for you works for you. But I believe that having a healthy lifestyle in where you nourish your body, your mind, and your soul with good things will always attract you to be in the right place. Um,
100%.
and I feel that for me at least, like there's a lot of room for growth. There's a lot of room for learning and understanding. And I love, and that's why I love to be surrounded by smart people, decent people.
For
Because the thing
sure.
is, if you surround yourself with three smart people, what makes you the fourth,
They
right?
say, well, they say that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with and everything. And, you
But
know,
this is something for you to really, really think about. Like your net worth is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. Like if you're
well,
surrounded by and some people are like, wait a minute, you said that you ditched a client, you fired a client. I'm like, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to take business from them, but if that energy is like really taking a lot from me, I really can't be surrounded by that person, because they're taking energy from you and they are not. It has to be reciprocal, even if it's your client, if you're catering for the client, if people are disrespectful to me, Me, I can tolerate a little bit, but not my staff, not people that I work with. You know what I mean? Because they work really hard and they take very serious their business. Like if
100%.
if someone just comes to them and say, "You bitch," I can't take that. To me, like it's a no. I'm sorry, I can't work with you anymore because you disrespected my staff, the people that are doing everything to make sure that um you have this right. And it's so funny because I don't even sell service. I would never come to you and say, "Oh, we have wonderful service," because service is a given. We have wonderful service. You know what I mean? And for that's the reason why I don't tolerate disrespect for my staff.
Actually, I say that a lot to my clients also, like, and also when I'm working with a lot of different vendors, I always tell them, is like, what are your top one, top 50 and everything? 90% of the time, you're still going to provide great service. The difference is what makes you stand out.
Exactly.
What makes you different, and it's usually work ethic, it's usually drive, and 95% of the time is all mentality.
Oh, the mentality changes the game, and then it once again, you have to be different. You have to be out there. Like I'm gonna answer one of the questions. Like you're asking me on the question. I'm gonna just jump in. Um, what makes you a good title agent? For people that wants to become a title agent, you have to be different. You have to come. You have to bring to the table something that is different. If you don't, you're just gonna be on the cold calls, and you're gonna have like 3 4 deals a month, and you're not gonna succeed. You have to go out there, have a personality, connect to people, and show who you are, and be different
It's the
completely.
same thing with real estate as well. Like there's been moments in my life, like there's been up and down moments in my career specifically, right? And I've always noticed that the down moments of my life and the down moments of my career specifically is when I'm not taking the effort and not trying to put out the energy, not trying to put out the positive energy, not being positive.
Mhm.
And the moments that I've always reset my business and everything has always been the moments where I literally just reset my mentality and say, what, I'm just going to change the way I think. I'm going to just change the way I work.
Yeah.
I'm going to remotivate myself. And that's when things started clicking and started coming back. Like there was, I took a couple of months just to kind of take steps back and reset a little bit to some degree itself. And then the moment I needed new listings, I just started saying, I need new listings. I need new listings. I need new listings. I need new
You
listings.
have that in your head, and then it's just become like a riddle. Like, you gotta do it,
Yes.
and then you start taking the steps to do that. Because if it's in your mind all the time, I always say this: if it comes out of your mouth, it comes from your heart. So it comes from your mind, goes to your heart, and then you say it, and it's just like it's magical. It's magical how words and actions towards it can change everything. Because it did change my life. When I started really thinking on the positive way, and then saying, I'm going to believe myself. Listen, I'm an immigrant. I have a little bit of a broken English, and then a lot of people, they're like, this girl, she graduated, she went for a master's degree, she's in United States, she's married to an American guy, she's doing a business that is thriving. I actually just got an award.
Not only are you married to an American guy, you have your own successful business as well that that you're running, that you're managing, that you're able to be successful with.
Yeah, but thank you. But then you have to have in your mind. We actually 2 days ago I just got the notice. I'm number one salesperson again for the fourth year at the world title nationwide. So
Wow, ten
it's
minutes.
it's it's amazing. Like literally, I'm so flattered, but I know that it's so much work and so much love and so much that you put in. And also, I think what you said, the mentality. If I don't think number one, I'm not going to be number one. And I have that in my head. I'm very competitive. I really am, but I can't accept less than that. I work on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday. Some people are at the beach. I'll go to the beach after the open houses.
Or you'll have your laptop in hand, you have your cell phone in the other hand, you have your sunglasses, your hat on the beach, but
No,
you're still working.
exactly,
And
exactly.
it's funny too because a lot of times, sometimes when I told myself I needed breaks and everything, like one of my best deals is like when I just decide, hey, I'm going to take a day off. I'm just going to go to the beach, and I'm sitting there. And next thing you know, I get a phone call and I get offers.
It is, and sometimes you need that. Like that, I suffer with back issues, and there are some days that I just, because obviously I'm not working like an average person that, a 9 to 5 job is not what I do. Sometimes I work 16 hours a day. Like today, I'll be ending up working probably 16 hours because
Mhm.
I've been up since 4:30. And if I show you my fridge, I have charcuteries everywhere because I have a bunch of events going on today. Um, but in my mind, when I need that time off, when I need like a back massage, I have to go. I'm like, I have to go because otherwise I'm gonna break. You also have to take, time
The
for
same
you.
thing with me. Same thing with me. Like whenever I close a major deal, I like to see with women. This is see with a lot of women. This is more common because But with me personally, I use this as a treat myself moment. Like whenever I close a deal, I go to a esthetician and get myself a nice facial.
Good,
You
yeah,
know,
good
it's
for
I
you.
enjoy that. Just like a
Yeah,
moment, just to take an hour to myself, close my eyes, not think about real estate,
yes,
not think about anything, and then the girl who I go to, has really really tiny hands, so I get to really just really enjoy that.
yeah. Oh my, I love, I love that for you because again, real estate can be unhealthy, like in terms of you forgetting to do certain things, and
How many days a week? How many days a week do you go without eating for like at least for a couple of meals? Like
oh my goodness. Like sometimes like a day like today, like obviously because I'm dieting right now, so I'm packed. I
Mhm.
have packed my lunch, I have packed my shake. So like I remember like yesterday I texted you, I was like, listen, I'm very OCD. I have to do this thing. Because I think it's important,
It
if you don't,
is.
like I said, if you don't have systems, if you're not uh, putting the work with systems on it, you can get unhealthy, and you can make something fabulous and extraordinary that I want to do for my clients and I wanted to do for myself. Because remember, I'm doing it for my client, but in the end of the day, it's the signature of my name
Of
on the deal.
course,
You
of
know what
course.
I mean? And
It's the
I'm
same
going,
thing with open houses. We're
yeah,
we're doing it for our client, but at the end of the day, we also know that a lot of realtors will go back and forth and say that like an open house benefits the agent more than it benefits the seller. I look at it both ways. Yes, it benefits the seller, but also at the same time, it benefits us because my name is on that open house.
a
You
thousand
know,
percent. And the association, like with the title agent or the mortgage company that you have,
exactly.
is also going to differentiate because people are going to see, they know that, see, if it's a Title Diva open house, you're going to have a completely different experience. And I just want to make sure that everything is good. But at the same time, because I'm dieting and I want my levels of energy to be fine, I want to be happy. I want to be happy for my clients. When I do what I do, it's not just because, I love what I do. I love when I see people, oh, you did that? And I do it with my hands. I do it with my own hands. And it's such a satisfaction. It makes me so happy.
Well, I do got to ask you this specifically. This is one of the questions I've actually really, really wanted to ask you, and I think a lot of people will appreciate this. I actually have a lot of Brazilian friends too, so I think they would also appreciate this as
Yeah.
well. You were born and raised in Brazil,
Yes.
and you moved here how long ago?
15 years ago. It's
15
been
years
a
ago.
while.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So when you moved to America, so that was, obviously we went over that. How has some of these life experiences influenced you to become the entrepreneur you are today?
Um, I'm gonna say this, right? I came from the singing life. I was a professional singer. I sang in
Oh,
cruises. I traveled the entire Brazil with big, huge bands. I sang for over a hundred
wow.
thousand people. I mean, I wasn't a famous singer, but I used to do big shows. I used to do very big shows. Um,
Okay.
and I think that what changed, it's not changed, like what influenced me to be who I am today. I think the artistic side, I think that the caring side, I always really cared a lot about people. I really wanted people to be happy, you know. And then I think that in Brazil we have a lot of that. Let's say that you come to someone's houses and like, come on, sit down. I'm making a cake right now. You know, I'm gonna give you coffee. Do you want a pão de queijo? Do you want this? Do you want that? You know, I grew up with that. I grew up with a wonderful family where everybody was so kind and compassionate. I owe a lot to my mom. I want to cry right now. It's gonna be Mother's Day. My mom is a fabulous person. She's a, you know, she's always giving, always trying to help people. And I think that that's what differentiates me from other people. I genuinely want to give myself. That's my why. My why is to see the smiles. The seeing people smile makes me feel so good in my heart. I go to bed, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm happy that I made someone happy. So I think that having a why, that influence that obviously my culture has, the artistic side too. My mom also had a flower shop, and I used to be the manager of the flower shop when I was 12 years old. uh,
You've been working for a long time too. I've been working since I was 13, so I get
yeah,
that.
really. Oh my gosh. You know, the artistic traits, and then, you know, trying to be, to show off, like, you know, making things pretty. That's what really influenced and makes a huge difference on my business for sure.
You know, I was watching a series recently. It's a brand new series from David Blaine, the
Okay.
magician, and the first episode is in Brazil,
Is
actually,
it?
right? And he's talking about how much he loves doing, like how much he loves visiting Brazil and doing things around Brazil because Brazilians are so expressive,
Yeah.
and I think
Tell me
that's what.
about it.
And I could definitely see that, and I could see that in your energy, and I could kind of see how that influences and how that motivates your business because, like, that is something that I can see that you're implementing in your open houses also that expression, that expressionist feeling because you want to because like when you know I've noticed that when a lot of Brazilian people when they get excited you can really see it in their faces and I think you specifically you know it's such an enlightening feeling and all stuff that you want to give that same experience to someone else who doesn't really you know you want to give that same experience to your clients you want to give that same experience to the agents that you work with.
Yeah. Yeah. Because listen, givers gain, right? I'm
Yes.
always gaining from that energy, from smiles. Like when I see the smiles at the closing table, people crying. I cry. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cry again, you know. And then I'm like, those are true feelings, you know. You can't purchase that.
Well,
Where you purchase someone crying?
Well, it's an emotional experience, you know. Like people, you know, like I just say this all the time. You know, there's a difference between like commercial and like dealing with investors and dealing with personal clients and everything. But like most of the time, when you're dealing with like a client that's either selling a house or buying a house for the first time,
Oh yeah,
you're you're either dealing with someone that's lived through a lifetime worth of experiences through that property itself, not just with themselves, but their family members, their children. Children have grown up in that family. You have no idea how many times a person will overvalue their property just because of their personal life experiences
oh,
in that property.
that
You know,
thousand percent. And I would
and
too.
100%. You know, it's like you know, little Joe grew up in that room over there. I remember when he used to doodle on the wall, you know, and et cetera, et cetera. This is where we used to eat dinner all the time. This is where he's, you know, we used to draw the heights, you know, how people, you know, how tall people are growing, you know, the kids are growing and all stuff. It's just memories are priceless, you know.
Yeah, they are. Like I told you, there's a little part of your brain. We call it amygdala, and it's so interesting. I'm gonna throw before we end. I'm gonna throw a little neuroscience on this. So the amygdala is where we have kind of the core memories, what we call. So that's the reason why some people they have Alzheimer's, right? They forget everything before after 28 years old. So let's say that they at 70 years old and they have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So they start forgetting memories from 28 years old and up, because the amygdala preserves the golden years, right? So you have those wonderful memories when you're, it's called the hippocampus, right? And then you have the little part that preserves those memories. And if you keep feeding those memories with good memories and creating core memories that you really feel, you won't forget. So I always tell my clients and everybody that I work with, which is part of the motivational part of working with me as well. Um, Try to make it memorable. Try to make an experience that people will remember. And not just because you're going to make money out of it, because money comes and goes. You meet people, you connect with people, and it's going to happen. But just because you care, make a point of, I care. I cannot leave this closing table, this open house, or this meeting without making someone feel good. And that feel good energy, it's going to transcend. It's not about only you, but it's about the universe that you created surround you. We might not live in the perfect world, but at least the one that is around you, you want to make it fruitful and flowerful. And like, I think I created the word flowerful. Because in the end of the day, that's really what matters. What is
Well,
in the heart.
one of my friends, Jennifer Romero, used to say this all the time, the quote unquote commission breath, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of people, what you don't realize is that if you're out here constantly just chasing the check only and just chasing the money and just not giving a damn about personal people emotions and feelings, et cetera, those are the people that end up making less money than people who don't focus on the money and focus on people and focus on caring about other people and caring about our the general public. The beauty about my business and all stuff is that I've been getting a lot of repeat business also because I took the time to care. I tell clients all the time that it isn't about this specific transaction, but the long-term relationship. It's always about the long-term relationship, because at the end of the day, if I give you garbage, it doesn't matter how great I sell myself to you. And also, if I end up giving you garbage service, there's no way you're ever going to recommend me to your friends. There's no way you're going to recommend me to your cousin, your aunt, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. It doesn't matter, and that
Yeah,
all
remember,
goes to how
right?
we care.
Yeah, remember that and you're just saying that the lifelong relationship, it cycles all the time.
Mhm.
Unfortunately or fortunately, people pass away,
Yes.
births, marriages, graduations. There's so many things happening in one person's life, right? Things are interchangeable. Divorces, there's so many things that happen. But if you create that relationship that someone can trust you with their life changes, experiences, that's great. So be there for your clients, utilize your resources to be a good person, and like you said, don't think of your paycheck as the ultimate, because it's not. It's really how much you
It's
care.
really not. It's really not, because the thing is, at the end of the day, like if you treat people with care and love, then the check is going to come automatically.
It's just there. I to be honest with you, I don't even think. Sometimes my husband is like, "Babe, you're doing too much. Like they don't need this. They don't need." I said, "They do. They
It's a
do."
standard. It's a standard, because here's the thing, right? What makes you stand out, and I think what has helped me stand out and all that, is your willingness to do what someone else is not willing to do. If you're not willing to do it, then someone else might be willing to do it. You know what I mean? And that's just the difference itself. Like, you know, I tell a lot of clients in listing appointments and all stuff is like, you're going to pay me 4%, 5%, 6%. It doesn't matter what it is, right?
Mhm.
You're going to pay someone else the same thing and they're going to give you less. They're not going to do videography. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. At the end of the day, like I'm out here to protect your best interest and do everything I can to make you shine and make you the happiest person on earth. And that's the bottom line. It isn't about the check. It's about going the extra mile, as Denisha just said down in the comments over here.
Yeah, I made actually a post the other day talking about effort. Effort is everything. Like when we're just talking about business, right? We're talking, oh, if you love what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life. Well, but if you love what you do, you put effort. Like you want it. Have you seen those ladies like making their garden? You see the difference of that lady that like she makes that garden, she goes and she throws water. Oh my gosh, this is not working. That one is working. It's love.
It's just something as parenting. It's like parenting in a way. The difference is that this isn't a physical child, but this business of ours, this is our child. This is our
Yeah.
baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if we can name our, if we could put a you know, a name on our business like it was a child and all stuff, like we would raise it and we would treat it a certain way and all stuff,
Yeah.
because like that's the mentality. You want your child to grow up in your image, if not better. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing when it comes to your business. You want your business to grow to the point where you could, you know, you feel proud of it and are able to look at it and look back in a couple of years, be like, damn, I did this.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I've seen it over the years, and I love it. I feel like
Do you
it's
ever do you ever look at yourself? Do you ever look at where you are right now and look back at yourself like maybe like 10 years
oh
ago and just say, damn.
oh gosh, god damn it. I do. And it's fabulous what we build, you know. I'm seeing some of my clients triple, quadruple their businesses. It's
Mm,
fabulous. And people that literally started with me, now they're crazy investors. They have teams.
mm-hmm.
Wait, some people started with me, and then, you know, we're like, oh my goodness. And I'm not saying that obviously it's my effort only, but I was part of it, and it's really fabulous to see growth, not only of me but people that I surrounded myself with. And we were just talking about that. Surrounding yourself with the right people makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And that's honestly been one of my proudest moments. You know, is like when I first got into this business, I just made sure. Honestly, when I first got in this business, I just added everybody on Facebook. You know, I connected with the right person. I just saw, oh, this person's this person's here. I'm just gonna hit add,
Same.
and
I have like 8,005 the people that I
yep.
follow. I don't care. I just add it.
And then I started sharing people's open houses. I started sitting open houses for people and everything. And next thing you know, I was getting business. Someone reached out. I was doing open houses back to back to back to back to back in New Providence. And the next thing you know, someone was just messaging me, hey, I saw you doing a lot in New Providence. I was like, I never once did my own listing, but yeah, I've been doing a lot in New Providence. I've been sitting open houses and buying donuts every single week for this house. Yeah. You know, but
But you had to start somewhere, right?
exactly. And the next thing you know, I got a listing out of it. You know, it's just amazing, like where you realize that when you're putting a lot of work into something, and also like you never realize where the opportunity might come and what direction it might come, but it is all a result of your hard work.
I know. And once again, effort, and really care about what you do, and it's gonna come. You just have. And in this business, real estate, for agents, for title agents, for mortgage originators, it's the same. It's really putting the work. You have to start somewhere and see what works for you. Find an identity and go for it.
what
It's,
inspired what
say,
inspired you to get into title?
say that again.
What inspired you to get into title?
It was really interesting because it was almost by accident. I was finishing my master's in counseling, and I was kind of in a limbo because I was like, what am I going to do? You know, like, do I really want to be in the mental health system? Yeah, I loved it. I did, but I think there was more for personal purposes that I did, you know, for my own issues with my childhood and everything. And it really became like crazy because obviously I didn't want to be in the country illegally. So I wanted to keep studying, study. And then my husband was like, oh, you don't have to work anymore. Like, I'm like, me not working, that does not match. So he just, you know, I think his friend was opening a title company. He's like, listen, this is a very simple business. You just show up, talk to people, like you have a good personality. Their style didn't work for me. Yeah.
Brazilians love to work, by the way. I could say I could vouch for this, that Brazilian women love to work. And
Yeah.
any one of my Brazilian friends and also have ever told them to calm down, not work as much, they've always had a little, they're like, excuse me, how
Oh,
dare you tell me not to work?
so then their style didn't work for me because, you know, when I saw unsolicited, don't do not solicit business, and that wasn't the door, like you have to knock on doors like that. I like, this is not for me, you know. No, for me, I have to be warm. It has to be a lead that is warm, and then, you know, I can come in. and communicate and feel welcome. If I'm not welcome, I don't want to get in. But either way, that's how it started. So it really started of me getting a job just to get a job, and then it transformed to something insane right now.
This is insane. That is for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we are starting to wrap up with the final moments. With before we end this amazing session, I can't believe we're running down to the last moments of this already. By the way, guys, we are definitely gonna have to do a local business spotlight also, where we're gonna go to a restaurant or something like that and really just sit down and really just talk as
A
well.
hundred
Just a
percent.
little follow up with this. I actually would love to put you and Jessica and you and Jessica. We could do like one, something at a restaurant one day, and then we could really.
Vamos.
You can also. With that being said, do you have any upcoming plans, events that you'd like to share with anybody?
Yeah, so today I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna go straight to Westfield. I'm working with Eliane Longhi and Ana de Caetano. We're doing a fabulous brokers open house. We today also have Oscar Nunes open house. If I'm not mistaken, I have to check, but it's Oscar Nunes open house is all over the social media. And we also doing a Cinco de Mayo event tonight at Iron 65 at the Ironbound community.
Okay.
If you have clients, that wants to rent, investors that wants to come in, they're more than welcome. And you're always going to see at the Title Diva social media page all the open houses and events that we are involved. There's a bunch of things coming up.
Excellent, excellent. I'm excited to tune in.
And we
You
have
know,
our open house.
Yes, and we have an open house coming up as well, guys. I do have a brand new listing hitting the market in Mountainside on June 12th. More details will be coming out soon. It is a fabulous listing that's going to be listed at $950,000.
Mhm.
The potential is very high. It's in a very ideal location, only minutes away from the train station of New York City and Summit downtown. So location is always the key word when we're talking about real estate. With that being said, I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in today. It's been an awesome show. I love to see where these shows go sometimes. We usually start off on a couple, like I said, I draw questions initially, but then, I love the natural flow to see how things go and everything. And this one is probably one of the more natural ones that we've had so far, where it's completely gone off the
We
script.
have the
We
samba,
love
your
it.
sweetheart. We do the samba, so that's how it goes.
I love how we got off script because like this became one of the most natural flows, and like we really got to dive into your business, your personality, and anybody that's been watching, they really got to get to know you as well. This has been absolutely incredible. She was amazing, guys. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. The link is below at d_title_diva. So make sure you follow her on Instagram and catch up with whatever's going on in her business. And those of you who are in real estate, you definitely need to tune into Daumielle's work as well. She is incredible. She is one of the most influential people in this business that you need to stay connected with. My next coming guest is going to be Matt Marinoff with Short Sale. He is Real Estate Recovery Group. He is actually going to be the first male I've had on this podcast,
Oh,
which
I
is
love
going to
it.
be fun. We're going to talk about short sales, which has actually been a very interesting subject in real estate. Within the last couple of years, as you remember, a lot of people were buying properties when rates were very low. I'm very interested in getting his insight of how some of those clients that purchased back in 2019 are living today, and if he's been running into any kind of issues since COVID and since you know life has become a little
Trust
bit
me,
more
you
normal.
will be surprised. It's gonna be a fun one. I can't wait
It
for
will. It
yeah.
will. It will. So definitely tune in. Follow Damielle once again, and thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Continue to hustle, persevere, and repeat.
Thank you.
Thank you.